What's up guys, Meredith with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today we're checking out the Raxium Axial Series Sequential Turn Signal LED Side Marker Lights, fitting all 2018 and newer JL Wranglers with the factory LED package. Now if you have a damaged turn signal and want a good looking replacement, or you just want a stealthier appearance to the front end of your Jeep, this set is going to be right up your alley. These will be an easy bolt-in and plug-and-play solution to get some sleek and functional lighting performance to enhance the styling of your Wrangler to match with other lighting or smoked accessories that you may already have on your build. This set will bolt in just like factory, but have some notable upgrades to make your Jeep much more noticed on the road to enhance your safety and also give your build some character. The lens on the front will be smoked for a darker appearance when they're off, but when the DRLs are on the top row, these will be bright white LEDs. Now the bottom rows, however, will be for your turn signal, lighting up in an amber color and sequencing whenever you turn, making them much more unique than the factory and allowing you to be spotted much better on the road. These will have an ABS black plastic housing on the back, which is pretty standard, being durable and molded to factory spec so they can bolt right in. Now on the inside, this will have chrome reflectors for the LEDs to allow them to shine very bright, and with the smoke on the front, I think it adds a really nice black chrome effect that looks really sharp when they're off. The lens on the front, however, will be made of a polycarbonate plastic material, which is an impact resistant and super tough plastic. So whether you are on the road and debris is flying up from the car in front of you, or you're off-road and you take a branch or any lighter hits to the light, these are gonna hold up well and protect the lighting on the inside. Like I said, these also are plug and play. It does come with a long lead of wires here, and it does have a wire cover. So I think that that is a nice addition. It's not going to make you have to do any difficult wiring. You can just plug these in and reap all the benefits. This set will be about $250, which actually is really average of a price point for this type of mod. Compared to others in the category though, these are gonna stand out with the simple yet very sharp design with the light smoke, the dual row of LEDs, and the sequential function, as to where some may be styled differently or not include the sequential feature. And I think if you're specifically looking for a stealthier set of turn signals that is not gonna be over the top on design or on the price point for that matter, and will also offer you those extra capabilities that you want for your JL, this is a great set to choose, and they even have a 3-year limited warranty to back them. Install here, again, completely bolt in, completely plug and play. It's not going to require any modification, drilling, or any additional wiring, so this is getting a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and will only take you about an hour or so to get the job done. However, at this point we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get these onto your JL at home. So that's going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
The tools you'll need for this project are a ratchet, a short extension, a T30 Torx bit, a 10mm socket, and a trim panel removal tool. Hi everyone, today we're installing a set of turn signals on our Wrangler, so let's get started. All right, to start this install, first thing you're going to need to support your vehicle on a set of jack stands and remove your wheels and tires, at least for the front. The reason being is we have to remove partially our fender liner here in the wheel well in order to access the plug for the connector on the harness for the turn signals. So to do that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 push clips that we need to remove. So we're going to be using our trim panel removal tool to get those out of the way. So the first push clip is right here in the front. Slip our removal tool underneath it and pry it out. Then we've got one more here on the back side in the front. So we'll do the same thing over here. And then we've got 3 more on the inner lip here to go ahead and take out as well. There's one. There's the second one. And the third one. The next thing we have to do is we've got 3 10mm bolts up here going across the center. We'll use our 10mm socket to remove these 3 bolts. Now with those bolts out of the way, we can go ahead and peel back our fender liner to gain access to our harness. Now the connector for our harness is right up here, just behind where the tire and wheel would be. And the easiest way to help actually disconnect this is go ahead and slide that connector towards the outside of the vehicle. That way you've got easy access to the connector to go ahead and disconnect it. So what you want to do is there's a red locking tab here that you want to slide down to release the release handle, and go ahead and push down on that release handle and then separate the two pieces. Now, once you've got that separated, there are some plastic hold down clips that go along the bottom of the fender here. So you're going to need your trim panel removal tool to go ahead and pop those out so that we can get the harness out, because the new lights do come with a harness. So we'll go ahead and use this and remove those plastic clips. So the first clip that we're going to remove is actually right underneath this bracket here. So you just need to slide the trim removal tool up underneath it here, pry it down, and pop it out. And once you do that, you can go ahead and start feeding your harness through this bracket. And move on to the next one. Again. Get your tool underneath it, pry down, and it'll pop right out just like the push clips that we did earlier. And again, feed your harness through this front bracket here. All right, now that we've got our harness disconnected, we can go ahead and start the removal of the actual light itself. Next thing we're going to do is we've got a couple of 10mm bolts, one right here on this bracket and one right here. So we'll go ahead and get those removed. And now we've got a series of T30 Torx screws that need to come out. We've got one right here, one up here, one right here, and one up here in the corner. So we'll use our T30 Torx bit to go ahead and get those screws removed. Now you will need to pay attention as to where the screws come out of, because you have some that have a fine thread on them and you have some that have a coarse thread on them. So you'll need to pay attention as to where those screws go, because they will be going back in with the new light. One right here behind this flap. And there's another one tucked in right here next to this side bracket. All right, that one seems to be hung up, so we're just going to leave it there and it'll come out when we take out the bracket itself. Now, the next thing we're going to do is disconnect the harness that goes to our side marker light here. And there's a little, like, vampire clip that holds that to this plastic bracket. So we'll go ahead and take that off. And then on this connector here for the side marker light, what you're going to need is either a fingernail or a very small screwdriver to lift up on the edge of this connector that locks it in. Pull that up, and then you can disconnect your side marker light. Now, with that out of the way, we can go ahead and remove this plastic bracket that we just disconnected with all of our Torx screws. So to do that, we're just going to slide this out a little bit and then pull it and get that released. Now you'll find that there's another Torx screw right next to the side marker light here. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And with that out of the way, we can go ahead and lift up and separate our fender slightly so that we can fold this flap down and access the 2 Torx screws here at the bottom of the light. Now with those screws, last 2 screws out, just go ahead and pull on the light towards the back. And it should go ahead and separate so that you can pull it all the way out. All right, now we can go ahead and insert our new light back into position here. Now once you've got that set into place, then we'll have to transfer over our side marker light from the OEM light. So we'll just feed the wire harness through the opening, line up the tabs on the marker light with the new turn signal, slide that into place, and now we can start replacing our screws. So we'll go ahead and start putting our screws in the bottom here. Now put the 2 in the top. And put the 1 on the side to connect our side marker light. And tighten them down. Now we go ahead and reconnect our side marker light. Now we'll start feeding our harness back across the top and get it plugged in to the factory harness. We'll feed this back in over the bracket. And then we'll go ahead and plug it into the factory harness. We'll go ahead and reattach it to the clip. Now we put in our other bracket here. Now you may find it easier also if you disconnect the side marker light first. And we'll go ahead and place this in over the bracket here and over the bracket here. Then once you've got it in place, you go ahead and put in our two 10mm bolts on the end. And then start replacing all the rest of the screws. Edit, we're redoing the last clip. Now we can go ahead and fold up this lower flap here, pull a fender away from the body, slide that on over the bracket, and then push it back into place. Once we've got that done, then we can go ahead and install our two 10mm bolts underneath. Tighten those down. We install our two bolts here. And here. Reconnect our side marker light. And now we can go ahead and replace our fender liner. Go ahead and fold our fender liner back up inside. Reinstall our push pins. And finally, our three 10mm bolts along the top. And tighten them down with our 10mm socket. And now you can repeat that whole process for the other side. And that wraps up our review and install of the Raxium Axial Series Sequential Turn Signal LED side marker lights for your 18 and newer Jeep Wrangler with factory LED light package. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.